Hello, this is Shankar, and to know more about me, go to my website shankerstudy.com. And without wasting much of time, today I've picked up the topic on which I want to talk, and a very pertinent topic where a lot of people, बहुत लोग आते हैं मेरे पास पूछने के लिए, and that is about love, sex, and deception. What are the planets which are responsible for you falling in love with somebody? When you fall in love with somebody, you'll have a relationship with somebody. Now, when I say sex, it doesn't mean the ultimate, but sex is in the mind, sex is external, sex is internalized. So let's keep sex at that level. And then deception is getting away, getting bored, or one walking on, as you say, move on, etc., etc. Level of this can be different. So, but that would depend on the horoscope or the planets of each individual. But here I'm going to talk about which are the planets which can lead you to such kinds of things, which are related to love, which are related to sex, and which is related to you moving on or getting deceived. Now, the most important planet which everybody knows is our Mars and Venus. Venus is a planet for love. It is the planet which depicts a lady. It is a planet which depicts luxury. It is the planet which depicts love. It is a planet which depicts how you make love, the way you want to be, the outside atmosphere you want, or whether you want to, you like a 5-star hotel, or you like a garden, or you like the sand, you like the rocks. I mean, whatever way you want to. That's everything is depicted by Venus. It is the most important planet for Kali Yuga. So Venus is all about love. Mars is the commander-in-chief. It is the executioner. If a person, let me put it like that. If you look at a girl and you say, oh, she's beautiful. Now you have to have the guts to go after the girl. आपके अगर कोई गर्लफ्रेंड है उसके पीछे जाना है तो आपके पास उसमें करेज भी तो होना चाहिए. One is you can keep on thinking in your mind कि oh बहुत अच्छी लड़की है बहुत and you can सब आप दिमाग में कर सकते हैं. You can keep on doing that, but that is not enough. You have to have the guts. Now that guts is given by Mars. जो Mars होता है, that is the planet which makes you to go and do and to act. So that is one part of Mars. Mars in Bhrigunadi and in other aspects also represents the male. So the male part is Mars. It is also the commander-in-chief. It's also the executor. It is the person which gives you the guts to go ahead, and that guts applies both in male as well as in females. The gut part of it, whether you आपके अंदर कितनी क्षमता है कि आप किसी लड़की को जाकर आप बोल सकते हैं I love you. कुछ लोग बोल ही नहीं पाते हैं, and लड़कियां भी आके बोल देती हैं I like you. So that is Mars. वो मंगल कराता है दोनों के केस में. But Venus represents the woman and Mars represents the man, and Mars, as far as the execution courage is concerned, it is Mars. So by looking at these two planets, one is you can understand what is the person. If a person has a strong Mars and a strong Venus, great. He qualifies for going to a girl, liking a girl, and if he likes a girl, he can go and say I love you. If he has a very strong Venus, he may like a girl, he may be liking the beautiful things, he may fall in love with a girl. But suppose the Mars is strong, debilitated Mars है, नीच का है, उसमें guts ही नहीं होंगे जाके बोलने. He will not have the guts to go and speak. So this is how you have to see Mars and Venus. By looking at the strength of Mars and Venus, you can understand what the horoscope basically is all about. Now, when you have these two things which are very important, which actually depict love and your guts in processing your feelings or telling your feelings to the other person. So these are the two planets. Now let us look at the other planets which play an important role in the whole relationship matter. The most important planet here is Rahu. Rahu is the dragon head. It is the Rakshas, the demon, जिसने कि अमृत पी लिया था. And Rahu is a planet which thinks out of the box. Rahu है वो कहता है कि I don't know rules. मैं rules नहीं जानता हूँ. मैं ये नहीं जानता हूँ ये सही है ये गलत है, मेरे को जो करना है, आई वांट टू डू इट, आई विल डू इट, I will go ahead and do it, and that is the way I want to do things. That is what Rahu is. Now, if your Mars gets afflicted with Rahu, मतलब Mars का कनेक्शन राहु के साथ बन जाता है या शुक्र का कनेक्शन राहु के साथ बन जाता है, तो राहु उसी हिसाब से बिहेव करता है. जैसे एक लड़की की हॉरोस्कोप में वीनस एंड राहु, if they come together, that girl will be beautiful. Rahu makes the person very beautiful. Beautiful does not mean कि देखने में अच्छी होगी, but she will have something which is attractive. The way she walks, the way she talks, the way she puts her hair. There will be something which Rahu will does to the beauty that it will make the girl very different and very attractive. Most of the film actresses, most of the beautiful girls which you see will have Venus and Rahu together. Now that is what Venus and Rahu does, and Venus and Rahu also gives you the potential to the girl कि मेरे को और चाहिए, मेरे को घूमना है, मेरे को ब्यूटी चाहिए, मेरे को कपड़े चाहिए. More Venus and Rahu are strong, it will give that impact in that Venus. Now that is what Rahu does when it is with Venus. Similarly, when Rahu is with Mars, it increases the power to go and say. I mean, then what happens is, in extreme cases, when Rahu is with Mars and very strong, and negatively they are placed, and one of them is very strong, it makes you to thrust yourself. A girl may say no, and you will say nahi, mere ko karna hai. It is there you have to see the horoscopes of rapists or people who then do negative things. That is when Mars and Rahu form a combination where Rahu tells Mars karna hai yaar, we have to do it. Now that is where it becomes negative. So that is another place you have to see. So Venus Rahu has its own impact, Mars Rahu has its own impact. The planet which then again plays a very important role is Moon and Mercury. Moon is the mind. Moon आपका मन है. मन तो आपका अच्छा करता ही है. Man always wants, oh, if you're seeing a good girl, let's go ahead. चलो हमको करना, ये भगवान ने बनाया है, रस है. It's a rus which is there. Chandrama है. Chandrama, Moon had 27 wives, and of course the wife he loved the most was Rohini. So that is how even the nakshatras are made. So Moon loves all this. So Moon will always say, let's go. Mercury is the planet which tells you intellect. Mercury बताता है यार करना चाहिए नहीं करना चाहिए, इससे क्या होगा, society में क्या होगा, what will happen to society, what will people say, is it right, is it wrong, is it the way to approach, what you were born with these rules and regulations, is it right for me to go and approach this girl, is she from my strata, is she good, etc etc. जो analysis होती है, जो mathematics होती है, हर चीज की जो mathematics है, that is done by Mercury. Now if the moon is, now you have to see these two planets very carefully. Now if the Mercury is also negative, the Rahu is also negative, and your moon is also negative, then the person is a psychopath, criminal, whatever, in the matters of love and sex, and seeing Venus and Mars together. So moon and Mercury that way play this role. Now we come to the planet Saturn. Saturn is a planet which again slows things. So whenever Saturn is with Mars, or Saturn is with Moon, or Saturn is with Mercury, Saturn हरदम कहता है भैया देख लो. Saturn likes structure, Saturn likes order, Saturn likes discipline. Saturn जो है वो बहुत important planet है, वो हर चीज को कहता है धीरे धीरे चलो, धीरे करो मगर बड़ा करो. Do it slowly but do it big. That is what Saturn says when Saturn is well placed. So you have to see Saturn again when you are looking at love, sex and marriage or any other thing concerning this whole aspect of life. Marriage, there is nothing as marriage made by society. So we'll talk that as a different video I will make on marriage someday. Then another planet which is important, which plays a very important role, is Jupiter. Now you would say, what does Jupiter do? Now if you have a strong Mars Rahu, you have a strong Venus Rahu, or I have also told you Moon and Mercury is bad, but you have Jupiter aspecting these places. Like you have a very strong Mars Rahu, but Jupiter aspecting. You have very wrong Venus Rahu, Jupiter aspecting. लोग कहते हैं अरे Jupiter गुरु है, Jupiter देख रहा है, बहुत बढ़िया हो गया. Horoscope is very good, excellent, that fellow. But that is not my experience, and please note this very well. Jupiter today's, I've seen thousands of horoscope. Jupiter does not make you a good man. Jupiter does not make you a guru. जुपिटर आज के तारीख में आपको गुरु नहीं बना देगा, आपको भगवान महात्मा नहीं बना देगा. बट व्हाट जुपिटर डज व्हेन दैट एनर्जी इज स्ट्रांग, बिकॉज वी आर ऑल अराउंड एनर्जी, व्हिच विल अनदर थिंग व्हिच आई विल डिस्कस इन सम अदर वीडियो. सो जुपिटर एनर्जी उस चीज को ढाक देता है. इट कवर्स दैट थिंग. The way you operate, the way you do things, the aspect of Venus and Mars, remember that is very important. That is always with there. Now these planets, when Jupiter aspects anything which is there, like Shukra Rahu, or Mangal and Rahu aspected by Shani, because when Mars and Rahu are together, the execution power is very high. And when Shani is a friend of Rahu, remember that Shani is a friend of Rahu, so it excites Rahu more. Like in this combination, if we have Mars and Rahu together, and with Shani aspecting it, it will not slow down Shani. It will help Rahu, because it will help. पहले अपने दोस्त को help करेगा, वो राहु को help करता है, and gives Mars the power to go and do things in a very rash way. A person can be very, very rash. And suppose Jupiter is also aspecting this, तो वो आदमी गलत काम तो करेगा, but वो ऐसे करेगा, he will plan it in such a way, or luck would be in such a way that he will do it inside a very good place, inside a hotel, inside a an environment where his public image will not get spoiled. His outer public image will not get spoiled. That is what Jupiter does. I mean, little deviating from that, people say that Jupiter in Lagna is very good because it aspects the 5th, 7th, the 9th house. But Jupiter in Lagna can only gives in 99% cases an outer image of a person which looks good. Internally, he will not be a very happy person. It is not all that what people talk about Jupiter will happen. Now, that's another thing we'll discuss in another video at some time. So this is what Jupiter does. Jupiter क्या करता है? उसको आपको रोक देता है. Jupiter gives a kind of a blanket coverage to a particular thing. So this is how you have to see a horoscope when we are talking about love and sex. Important planet, just to repeat, are Venus, Rahu, excellent. It's a good thing for ladies. For men, it makes them to go after a woman. Mars is the executioner, the commander-in-chief, and the man. So these are very important planets to see. Then if you see Saturn aspecting it, but I've told you also see friends and enemies. If Saturn is the friend of Rahu. So if Mars and Rahu are together, but Saturn will help Rahu. It will not control Mars. But if Saturn and Mars are together, that Saturn may control Mars, depending on degrees and so many other things which are there, which have to be looked into in a particular natal horoscope, which lord are there, in which sign they are in. But this is just an example to tell you this. Jupiter, I've told you. Moon and Mercury, see them together. What is the impact? If Moon is not very strong, it is depressive. A person may not have the want to go for a relationship, or for sex, or for making love. But if Moon is very strong and Mercury is also strong, very good. But if Moon is strong and Mercury is negative, then the Moon says go ahead, and Mercury plans how to do it, but in a negative way, in a way which is not right, in a deceptive way. Because anything Mercury positive means looking at the credit side, the positive side. When Mercury is not strong, it will look at the negative way of achieving its results. So that is how you have to look at Moon and Mercury. Another planet which is important is Sun. Sun, people also feel that Sun is a planet which will make you a very good person, which will make you a good human being. As far as the matter of love, sex, and other things are concerned, Sun is the king. And kings always like ladies. They like women. So Sun is a planet which is royal. It's a king. It's a giver. but it also knows all the 56, 56, 57 negative traits of deception. मतलब सूर्य राजा होता है, उसको अच्छे काम भी आते हैं और उसको जितनी भी नेगेटिव चीजें लोग करना जानता है वो भी जानता है, तभी वो राजा है. तो sun is also not a planet which actually will control things in terms of your relationships and other things. It in fact enhances this. A negative sun reduces it, makes it negative. A positive sun makes the thing happen in a royal way. The whole thing is done in royalty. That's about all. That is what sun does. Sun is also a planet which one should not feel that if it is there, sun is with Venus, it will control Venus. No. It will make it will do things in a glorified way, in a way which has got some kind of a charisma attached to it. It's style hoga uske saath. So that is what sun would do. So that is how you have to see the aspects of love and sex and how it works in a particular horoscope. How does a person approach? What does a person do? Where is the person, how he deals with the opposite sex. And with this, one can then analyze how a marriage works, how a relationship works, and how companionship works, and how a person thinks towards everybody else. So all these planets have to be taken into consideration. I've only left one planet, Ketu. Whenever Ketu is there, it cuts you. That is the only planet which I want to tell you. Whenever Ketu is there, it will take you away. Venus, whenever it is Ketu, it will develop कि मेरे को इसमें relationship, love affairs में interested नहीं हूँ मैं. It will take you away. That is a planet which cuts. So be careful when Ketu is with Venus and Mars, it will have, that is the only planet which will get an opposite impact of Rahu. Rahu कहता करो, Ketu कहता नहीं. Let's not do it, चलते हैं, छोड़ो यार, छोड़ो. We'll do it later. It is kind of a, we'll act later. It gives you kind of a internalizing of the things, not externalization. So that is what you have to see with Ketu. Third house is very important for relationship and sex. People have never realized it, but third house is an extremely important house. And I've seen people having Venus in the third house with a Mercury. They would settle for any lady. They would go to, any woman, anybody, whenever Venus and Mercury are there in the third house. Third house is also a relationship by where you can see people having negative tendencies. I mean, Mercury and Mars in the third house would give you a very different view of sex as such. Venus in fourth house, I've seen, invariably gives you an urge to have more than one relationship. Now, depending on the factors, it can give you extramarital relationships. Venus in 12th house, again, wants you to spend money. Venus in 5th house also, has this habit of showing off of vanity and glory in the case of a man or a woman. Mars in 5th house, a man would actually spend a lot of money for his girlfriend. I mean, even if he doesn't have 5 paisa, he will take her to a 5-star hotel and probably borrow, beg, steal. So you have to see also the houses then, which come into play in a very big role. But 3rd, 4th and 8th house, you have to see very carefully. And then you have to see the impact of the other planets which are there, irrespective of Mars and Venus. Jupiter, what it does. Saturn, I've told you what it does. Moon and Mercury, I've told you what it does. And Rahu, of course, is there. Ketu also, I've explained to you the impact of Ketu also. Important houses for love and relationships which you have to see is 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, the 11th and the 2nd. These are very important houses which you have to see when you are seeing love, sex and marriage. Love, sex and deception, the way a person deals with love and sex. It is not deception, it could be the way he operates in a relationships. That has to be seen by looking at various other planets. And from thinking in the mind to raping, to doing a rape, has It's all to be seen by the play of these planets and the basics I have told you. Now, then it would depend upon a chart which comes in front of you by which you can analyze what is going to happen in these cases. Anything, and with this, I end this video, and on this, I will make a series of videos which would give you pointers as to how to see your horoscope, how to see your planetary position, how to see your chart. And with this, I end this video. I hope you would have liked it. Any questions, you can write to me and my, on my WhatsApp mobile 9818733000, my website shankerstudy.com. I would, if you like this video, if you've seen it to the end, please subscribe to my channel. I want to reach 1 lakh mark by next week. Please help me in doing that. It's just a good thing to be having that 1 lakh figure there. And anything you want to know about me, again, I repeat, go to my site shankerstudy.com. Thanks. Bye for now. Hope to see you in my next video next week. Thank you.